Hey guys, Brickman117, welcome back to the channel. Wow, it's been a minute since I said that, hasn't it? But I'm here now, and so are you. So what's brought me back? Well, basically what you see in front of you is what's brought me back. I was inspired to create a video, so I decided to do so. And I'll talk about that more shortly. But before I do that, I just want to thank everybody that's stuck by the channel during my absence. It's been well over 6 months since I released any kind of content, and the channel doesn't seem to have suffered for that. Yes, it hasn't really grown, but it hasn't really shrunk either, which is absolutely fine by me. I also want to apologise to those that have been leaving comments or sending messages to check I'm okay. I haven't really responded to all that much because I actually deleted the YouTube Studio app. I also removed my Instagram account from all of my devices. Simply, I didn't want the distraction. It's been a really busy summer. I've had a lot of work on. There's been a lot of family stuff going on. I just simply didn't have time for hobbies, so I decided to park it, and I didn't want the distraction trying to pull me back in. As much as I love Halo Mega Bloks, as you know, Halo in general, and I love making videos for you guys and myself, the reality is it is just a hobby. It doesn't pay the bills, and it has to fit in around the rest of my life. First comes family, then comes work, and then comes friends. If there's time after that, I get to do what I want to do, and if I get to do what I want to do, you guys get to join in. So I am glad to be back and making a video. It won't be as regular as it was before I stopped, which was usually around one a week, but I will do the absolute best I can, and if more time becomes available, I'll create more content more regularly. And now that we've got that unsolicited life update segment of the video out of the way, let's talk shop. So the reason for this little custom figure diorama that you see in front of you now is in October we should finally hear from Halo Studios on what's in store for the future of Halo. Everybody's expecting at least 2 game confirmations, one being the Combat Evolved remake and the second being Halo 7 or the continuation of Halo Infinite. And whilst I'm very excited about the potential of a CE remake, I'm just as excited for them to continue the story of Halo Infinite. I personally absolutely loved the Halo Infinite campaign. I don't play multiplayer, so the failure there doesn't affect me at all. I also really enjoy reading the novels. That was something that 343 got a lot of criticism for, that you kind of had to read 2 full books to get the full story of Halo Infinite, Shadows of Reach and the Rubicon Protocol. Once again, hot take, I actually like that. I think it's very hard to get that level of detail across in game cutscenes. Those 2 books are 2 of the best Halo novels I've personally read, and all 3 together is one of the best stories Halo have told, and I'm really excited to see where they go with it. And that's why I created this little diorama, why I've customized this Chief, because in the Rubicon Protocol, even though Chief doesn't actually feature in that book, the other Spartans that do are regularly having to scavenge for armor to repair their own armor because of how much damage they go through. It's incredible. They're constantly fighting a losing battle of armor failure and trying to find replacement parts. And that got me thinking, well, why would Chief be immune to this? Just about every other Spartan throughout the Infinite storyline is wearing mismatched armor because they're away from their home bases. They don't have their machinery or their spares available to replace armor, so they're doing what they can with field repairs. And that got me thinking, well, how cool would the Chief look if he was a bit patched up as well? We've never seen it in Mega Bloks form, we've never seen it in any form, but we do know his armor is just as susceptible to damage as any other Spartans. So I decided to make myself my own vision of what the Chief might look like after he spent maybe another 6 months being punished by the Banished on Zeta Halo, and this is what I came up with. Now, the most important things for me was, one, he was still obviously recognisable as the Master Chief, and more importantly, he still looked cool. I didn't want to cover him in bright orange or bright yellow replacement armour pieces, so as you can see, I opted to replace him with black. Now, obviously, that would be random chance if he found black armour, but I think you'll agree it is the best colour to replace sections of the Chief's armour with. So I didn't go overboard here. I felt less was more. You can see I've completely replaced his right arm as well as his left thigh armour. And for those that are wondering where these pieces came from, the complete right arm as well as the left thigh armour came from the Emil figure that comes with the all-terrain mongoose. So that was nice and easy. I had plenty of these to spare, so it was a nice and easy straight swap. Like for like, I just swapped the whole arm out and just popped one of those thigh armour pieces off. As you can see, it's identical. I know Emil isn't a Spartan 4, but I didn't really care about that. I'm not going that far into it. If the armour fits, the armour fits. And as for the shoulder armour, I actually took this from the Hyperius figure that comes with the Defense Point Showdown set. After all, Hyperius took Locke's helmet, so why shouldn't Chief take his shoulder armour? After all, looks better on Chief anyway. And then as for the cape, I just added the cape through nostalgia from the Halo 5 Guardians E3 trailer, where you see the Chief wandering the desert in a poncho. Obviously it's a poncho, this is a cape, it's a different thing, but I didn't have a poncho, but I did have this cape available that comes with one of the Destiny figures. I don't know what figure it was because I don't follow Destiny, so I've no idea. All I know, I got this figure in a random haul. He's kind of green from memory, and he's got 4 arms, and he had a cape, and I thought, Chief needs a cape. And when I put the cape on Chief, just looked right. I know it's not practical in any sense of the word and he doesn't need it, but I don't care because he looks cool. The only thing I will confess to is you may have already spotted that I did have to slightly shave down the armor on his backpack. It was sticking up too high, making the actual cape pop out too much. Now, I'd never done this before. I never ever cut figures or adjust them in any way. I know it's my figures, I can do what I like. I just personally, as a choice, don't do that. The only reason I did it in this case is I've got a surplus of these dusty Master Chiefs that come from the Defense Point Showdown, so I felt like modifying one to get this look was acceptable, and it was well worth it in my opinion. If Mega were to ever release a figure like this, which they would obviously only do if he ended up looking like this in the game, they would just mold the cape to fit around the backpack of the Master Chief, so you wouldn't have to cut anything. And then as for the swords, I tried a few different weapons and I just thought he looked coolest with the swords, so I went with the swords. And in other news, as much as I haven't been creating content, I have still been making the odd purchase, as you can see by the amount of stuff on the floor here. This is my to-do list. I will make some haul videos to show you what purchases I've made over the past, well, that's pretty much since the beginning of the year, so there's a lot of stuff to go through there at the moment, but I will be sure to show you that. I've also run out of room on my display cases, so I managed to squeeze in one more of these tall wardrobe carcasses. As much as it looks like a lot of space, I'll fill that up very quickly. I've got way more sets waiting to go on shelves than I actually have the space for. I did have to move my artwork, but I don't think it looks too bad there, tucked behind the door. I wanted to make sure I had it out on display. I didn't want to pack it away, so glad that space was just the right size for the game artwork. And then the other thing I need to do is have a complete shelf redo in order to try and make the display more efficient. I don't want it to look overcrowded, but I do want to reorganize things. I think I can make better use of the space now that I've got more stuff out. So at some point I'm going to go through every one of those cube units as well as all of these shelves and just reorganize things to try and make better use of the space. I've got a load more figures that need to go out on display, and I think I'll move them over to the cube units because they can fit in there basically a bit easier than some of the bigger sets. As for the new in-box collection, all of this is going to be moved out of this room at some point. I've got another space available to me here, and as much as I love seeing this, I love it being in the room, I need a second room. I need more room to display, so I want to try and basically keep this room purely for display, and if I get rid of all that black racking, it will free up that wall and a half for more of these tall white display cases, and then hopefully that might just give me enough display area to try and get one of every set that I've got out on display, and then the other room will be purely for new in box and also surplus pieces like all the stuff that I used to build mocks from. So that's what's up and coming. I'll do the best I can to get you those videos as quickly as I can. But until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.